Is he waiting for
Okay,
you?
you've been fighting.
All right, we are here. Ready, Vanessa? You are.
Yes, welcome to Detroit in Black and White. This is our Wednesday edition. You're here with Allan Lengel of Deadline Detroit, Jim Nardone of Trenton, former police chief, our resident rebel rouser, Eric Brown, and
What you doing?
myself,
Looking in the mirror?
Vanessa Moss. If you're watching the show tonight, we'd like for you to like, subscribe, and share. You can follow us on all platforms, including but not limited to YouTube, Facebook Live, X, Twitter, Instagram, and you can watch all of our previous episodes on DetroitInBlackandWhite.com. I believe you can find us on Spotify as well as Apple and whatever else Allan has us out there in the world.
That's the podcast part. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So today we have a show. We have a few guests. I think we have two guests. But before we get started, I think that there was a conversation that you guys want to have. I guess you can take it, Allan or Jim.
Well, what did you want? You want to talk about you want to talk about Sri Thanadar or the Senate race?
What about Sri? We could talk about Sri Thanadar. We could talk about we could actually talk about the Senate race.
Hill Harper. Let's start with Hill Harper and talk about his race. And we've said that his race hasn't really gotten the traction that he was hoping for. And there's a reason. I mean, Alyssa Slotkin is sort of the anointed Democrat for that, and he's an outsider too. But I don't know what you guys think.
So is she, but listen, I ran into him this past weekend. I was out. I was at Northwestern High School. They had an all-class reunion, and he and I had a conversation. And he was supposed to come on the show today. He said that he would come on the show today. And actually, we were like, hey, come on down to Trenton because you are running for the Senate. And I did not get a return call. I know, Jim, that you reached out as well, right?
Nothing. It sounds like his handlers have decided where he can go and where he can't go, which is really disappointing. You know, he was on the show. He kind of co-hosted with me one day when we were kind of short-handed. And, you know, I don't agree with him politically on a lot of things, but what a great guy. I mean, I don't think he was acting when he was on the show. I think he's sincere. I think he's believable. He's pretty far left. And there's some things I'd like to sit down and talk to him about, but it doesn't appear that you're ever going to get that opportunity because they're kind of they put him in the closet or put him in the wrong term there. Put him in the freezer, or hid him from us, I guess.
I know he was flanked by a lot of people. People were really excited when he walked onto the grounds of the high school. They were, excited, shaking hands, taking pictures, and all of that. I just hope that, you said, Allan, that it doesn't seem as if he's been able to garner the momentum. I'm not a crystal ball gazer, so I'm not going to say what is or what isn't going to happen. It's really, I think that he had the opportunity. He still has the opportunity. He can still go down to Trenton this weekend. There's the Jazz on the River that's going on this weekend. And so he run into a whole lot of constituents down there. So maybe he will, maybe he's watching the show. I don't know. But I mean, he has a wonderful personality, but I don't know how far that's going to go.
I mean, he went to law school. I'm sorry. He went to law school with Obama. He couldn't get Obama. I think Obama didn't want to interfere with Democratic politics here. And so he could not get him to come.
That's problematic. You're the former president. To me, you're the former president. This is your guy, according to him. Y'all went to law school together. He even worked in the Obama administration. You think that if that was me, I wouldn't like, dog, what we doing here? Give me a shout out or something. I don't understand it. But, Maybe it's not
his reason that is former President Obama, for not getting involved. Yes, he knows Slotkin as well. But at the end of the day, you went to school with me. I know your wife. I worked in your administration. To not endorse him, I just think was a cop-out on the part of the former president. I mean, sometimes endorsements mean something. Sometimes they do not. But at the end of the day, to not endorse him, I just thought was weak.
If they gave him the support that they gave the current vice president, he would be the next U.S. senator from Michigan. But they did not do that. And it's disappointing because, like I said, I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but he's a genuine human being that cares about his community. And he said a lot of things that I thought were important. And he was. Go ahead.
Excuse me.
God bless you.
Thank you. I was going to say,
I'm not next to you.
Maybe Eric mentioned it, but I mean, Alyssa Slotkin did work for Obama. Alyssa Slotkin is an incumbent. She's from Michigan. He's sort of come in as a little bit of a Johnny come lately. If I were him, I mean, I would have capitalized. I think he didn't want to capitalize too much on his stardom on TV because he wanted to show he was more than that. But I think you got to take what you got. I think they could have played that a little bit better and let people say, oh, he's on the TV show. Really? Wow. I think he could have played that up more than he did.
But when you say that Johnny come lately, explain that because he's been in Detroit.
I was just going to ask that, Eric.
I just find it interesting. How many people, if you were to leave your apartment right now, Allan, and go down almost any block in Detroit and ask them how many times have they seen Alyssa Slotkin, they will say probably little to none. He's been out in the city. He's been out in a lot of the communities. I see more signs of, I live in Canton. I see more signs of him in Canton as well as Ypsilanti than I do, and Ann Arbor, than I do of her. So
I see Alyssa Slotkin signs in the suburbs. I see, you're right. You don't see her a lot in the city, although she says she's here, but I don't see him a lot out in northern Oakland County and Oakland County. Not that I'm out there that much, but I see her signs out in like Huntington Woods all around. So I think, look, it's Michigan. It's not a congressional race where you're focusing on just one area. You're talking about Michigan from the UP on down, which includes Detroit. And Detroit has a wealth of voters, but it's a big state. It's a big state.
And I think it's important. I think he recognizes that Detroit has a wealth of voters, and that is he's concentrated in the city of Detroit.
Right. Sure.
Like Eric, I have seen a lot of signs, and he has a huge presence in the city of Detroit. And when you say Johnny come lately, I'm like, the man owns a business downtown Detroit. Johnny come lately? I mean, really?
How long has he been in Detroit, though? I mean,
how long has she been in Detroit? I mean,
she grew up in Michigan. She grew up in Michigan.
How long has she been in Detroit?
She not running.
She went away and was gone for a very long time. We're not gonna do this, Allan.
No. She is a Michigan native. She had a job in overseas for the CIA or whatever. But look, I'm sorry. How long has he been here now? What is it? 5-6 years, maybe? Maybe not even that.
I think a little longer, but
I think it's longer.
The Eagle is talking to us out there. Thank you for fighting the Eagle out there in Hazel Park from Detroit. We appreciate you watching and keep talking to us because we need some help out here.
So, Allan, are you saying that because he didn't grow up in Michigan that he should not be the
No, I'm not saying that.
So what's your point? Why you bring that up?
Well, my point is that look, he's kind of looked upon. I'm saying from talking to people, some people see him as an outsider, as a carpetbagger.
How many people have you polled?
I talked
really
to people.
Disappointed. He could have done far better.
He could have done better. He could have done better. Look,
you guys talking like it's all over. You guys are talking like it's over. I mean,
would you like to put a bet down
that it's over? You guys,
it feels like it's over.
One of the viewers just posted that the mayor of Detroit has done very well, and we know damn well he's not a Detroiter. He came in Detroit from Livonia. Mm-hmm. He worked in Detroit, but he came to Detroit from Livonia, and he's on his third term as mayor. So to say someone being a an outsider or carpetbagger that really holds no weight, because I could give you a litany of names from all across the country that moved into a certain area and went on to win elections.
I'd be thrilled if he won this. I'd be thrilled if he won this primary. He's not winning this primary.
Yeah,
oh, so
I,
you okay?
I agree.
We'll see. We will see.
I totally agree with Jim. So, well, it looks like we, yeah. Well, and I think
agreed on something.
And you know, the thing is, and maybe I'm wrong, I think Duggan was born in Detroit. His father was
born in Detroit.
Oh, Allan, I can't believe you saying that. So what? He was born in Detroit.
No, what?
His whole political career was outside of Detroit until he became the mayor of Detroit. Stop it.
His father was a federal judge in Detroit. I don't know how many years he was in Livonia. I don't think it was as long as you guys are trying to suggest. You know.
Be careful.
What you mean? You know how long he was in Livonia? He's been in Livonia for a long time.
You guys are funny.
I don't know how long.
I mean,
Did you know how long?
Like it's a big deal that he was born in the city of Detroit. So what? He was.
Well, you're making it sound like he came from San Jose, California.
I think that the point that Eric was trying to make is this. You're making a big deal about Hill Harper being a carpetbagger. The same thing could be said of the mayor of the city of Detroit. And he was elected as mayor of the city of Detroit, just as Hill Harper could be elected as the senator for Michigan.
I'm not saying, let me clarify. I'm not saying that he's not entitled to be the senator. I'm just saying in terms of perceptions, some people, voters who decide that, are going to decide that maybe they don't feel like he has enough time here in Michigan. I'm not saying look, Hillary Clinton ran in New York. She was the New York senator. Robert Kennedy ran in New York. I mean, they were all people who have done that. I mean, there are carpetbaggers all around who call it, make it their home. We'll see if he doesn't win, if he sticks around. That's what I'm curious
Well, he's
about.
not going anywhere. He'll be here a long time.
All right. Well, I hope so. And hopefully he'll run again, you know.
So what about Mary Waters? Does she have a chance in this race? What's everybody thinking about this race?
She has a chance.
I think so too, Eric. I think that she has a chance. I saw some ad, Blue Wave or something like that, and I'm like, look, you have a guy that's running for the president of the United States that has several convictions. Do you think that? I mean, the lady paid her debt to society. She did what she had to do. You really think that that's going to hold a lot of water to do that kind of, to me, campaigning to convince people to not elect her? Listen, she's won citywide to represent Detroiters on the city council. So I think she has a very good chance.
I've said it before. I went to an event that she hosted at Eastern Market during the primaries a couple years ago, and there were a lot of people there. A lot of people. So
well,
she has.
I have a question. Does it concern you that she has a conviction for bribery? Should that matter?
Her conviction for bribery was a minor conviction compared to what someone is running for president right now is faced with.
I just said that.
So,
39 convictions. I don't know.
And the only thing is the ad that is being ran by her opponent is just to remind people of what she did. Most people forgot about it, I'm sure. That's just the way it is when it comes to politics. So him reminding people could actually work against him. Because how dare you try to desecrate a person of the community that's been of the community when, again, let's talk about the word carpetbagger. He is another carpetbagger that has paid his way to every election he has won.
I'll agree with that, but I still think that doesn't negate the fact. Look, she bargained down to a misdemeanor, but it was a bribery conviction. And is that the standard? I mean, Trump is certainly not the standard for which we should go. But before we go, we have Monica Sanford.
Monica. Her name is Monica.
I apologize for that, but let's bring her in. All right.
Hey. Hey. Monica Sanford. Monica Sanford is a candidate for 6th Circuit Court in Oakland County. She's an attorney. She's Well, I've known her for over 25 years. Specializes in criminal, family, juvenile, probate. She does appellate work. She's done some work with the federal court, pro bono work. And she's a candidate for Oakland County Circuit Court. Welcome, Monica.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, tell our viewers something about you, other than what I've already said.
Well, let's see. I was raised in Oakland County. I raised my children here in Oakland County, graduated from Southfield High School, went to U of M Dearborn, got a bachelor's in psychology and sociology, then got a master's in social work from U of M Ann Arbor. Went to work for the Department of Health and Human Services doing foster care abuse and neglect cases for several years. And then I went and got my Juris Doctorate from Wayne State, and have been practicing in Oakland County for the past 20 years, doing family, criminal, and probate. And this is a family law seat.
Oh, okay. All right. And why are you running, Monica?
I believe that I can make a greater impact on the community of Oakland County, serving in the position of judge. I've been a defense attorney for 20 years. I work for the Oakland County Juvenile Drug Court as their defense attorney servicing juveniles with substance abuse and mental health issues. I believe we are in a mental health crisis, as well as substance abuse addiction. And there are many resources that are available that are not being used to help the people in the community. And I want to bring more resources into the Oakland County Circuit Court.
Okay. You guys have any other questions on Monica?
First of all, I want to say I love the background of where you're at. It looks beautiful. Looks beautiful.
It is.
And so is this your first shot at public office?
It is. Yes, it is.
And what are you doing to campaign, and what are you doing to get your name out there?
Campaign wise, I've been visiting a lot of the churches. I went to a lot of the different clubs. I've gone to a lot of community functions. I still have a few more community functions between now and the 6th that I'm planning on attending. I'm also on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I have a website, monicasanfordforjudge.com. And I'm doing ads through Google and various other platforms.
And excuse my ignorance, because I was ignorant about Vanessa as a writing candidate here at 36th District Court. But are you up in the primary election?
Yes, I am.
You are. And how many opponents do you have?
There are 2 other opponents. Only 2 can go forward. So
2 out of 3 will move forward to the general election, and then. Is that it? Is it one seat that you guys will be competing?
One seat. The judge is retiring, so there is only one seat available. Okay. So there are 3 current candidates. 2 will go to November, and 1 will get the seat.
And do you feel you have the temperament for it to be a judge?
I do. I think being a social worker as well as a lawyer gives me an advantage. Because especially in the family law, you have to be able to listen and understand and relate, and then provide solutions to help the families. And I've been doing that on this level for quite some time.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right.
Any other? I guess we're going to maybe break for a commercial here. Are there any other questions? Or
yeah, Monica, if somebody wants to get in contact with your campaign, could you give us the information as to how people can get in contact with you or contact with your campaign?
Yes, they can go to my website, monicasanfordforjudge.com. There's a section where they can leave an email comment, and I respond to those normally within the same day, 24 hours at most, or they can contact me at 248-956-0119.
Okay.
And that's monicasanfordforjudge.com, correct? Okay,
yes.
Great. All right.
Go ahead.
If I was a resident of Oakland County, which I'm not, what makes you the best candidate? So your quick elevator speech that would convince me between now and Tuesday why I should vote for Monica Sanford.
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 So I would say that For one, because I've had 20 years working here in Oakland County, I have a vast variety of experience. As Vanessa stated, I've not only done family, criminal, and probate, but I have done appellate work on neglect and abuse cases. I have worked with many of the defense attorneys, the prosecutors, and the judges here in Oakland County. I have represented the juveniles who have substance abuse and mental health issues. I've also worked the mental health docket here in Oakland County through the probate court. And so I have a lot of knowledge about how this court works and what services are necessary. And because I am a social worker as well, I have networked with a lot of the resources that are available to Oakland County. And so I believe that it is important to bring the resources. I also believe that it's important to treat everyone with dignity and respect, no matter of your race, color, creed, sexual orientation. Things that I don't see that happens often in the courtroom. And so I want people to come in and know that they're being heard, their voice is being heard, and that they're being treated with respect.
All right. Well, we're going to cut. Thanks. Oh, Jim, did you want to say something?
I was going to say, great question, great answer. We want to wish you luck from this spot. So.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much.
I'm not going to wish you luck. I'm going to say God bless, and I'll see you after the primary back on Detroit in Black and White, telling us that you're going to the general election.
Thank you. And
Good
thank
luck.
you for having me, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
We're going to come back after this commercial with Luther Keith from Arise Detroit. So,
neighborhood beautification. That's very important to Detroit. It's very important to block clubs, organizations, and people who live in the community. We got started with 2 lots and a vision of a treehouse center. Because if we can take these blighted lots, Detroit give us grants to be able to do something with them that the community wants, it's a plus because we're bringing our neighborhoods back to where we want them to be, where they should be. All because I live in Detroit.
In the heart of Detroit, Bruce Simpson. Our city ombudsman and his team are dedicated to making your voice heard. The City of Detroit Ombudsman is a liaison between the City of Detroit and all persons who have a complaint or inquiry into the operation of a city department or the conduct of a city employee. The Ombudsman works as an independent oversight to provide individuals with an opportunity of giving a confidential avenue to address complaints. You can reach the Ombudsman's office at 313-224-6000 or email us at ombudsmandetroitmi.gov. You can also visit us at the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center. For more information, go to www.detroitmi.gov and type in Ombudsman. We are here to help. In Detroit, we are all one team. When you win, we all win.
This is Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat running for the U.S. Senate. I want to share a story about who, more than anyone, taught me the importance of listening and accountability. It was President Barack Obama. I served in the White House on his national security staff. I got to see him in action, up close, and behind closed doors in the Oval Office. First, he was brilliant, and therefore demanded people really knew their stuff. It was President Obama who grilled me on issues and demanded accountability on what we said and did. That commitment to accountability is exactly the approach I use today, listening to our communities. It's why I've written an opportunity agenda with detailed plans to strengthen Black businesses, increase Black wealth, and provide real opportunities for our youth. Because, as President Obama taught me, you better say what you mean and mean what you say. So that's why I approve this message.
Vote early or on August 6th for Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat for U.S. Senate. Paid for by Alyssa Slotkin.
All right, and we are back for our final segment here of Detroit in Black and White. And we've got my buddy, Luther Keith, who actually was, when I was in the Lansing Bureau at the Detroit News, Luther was my editor, a great editor and a great person and a great blues singer. Luther runs the organization called Arise Detroit. They do an annual neighborhood cleanup. And tell us a little, it's this Saturday. Tell us what it's about and if people can still sign up.
Well, thank you, Alan. It's great to be here. One thing slight correction: Neighbors Day is not just a cleanup. Labor Day is cleanup plus a lot of other things.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed.
That's all right. It's a uniquely Detroit event. No other city in America does it. We're going to have over 120 separate events in neighborhoods all over Detroit on this Saturday, August 3rd. We are going to have cleanup. We are going to have beautification projects. We're also going to have health fairs. We're going to have school supply giveaways. We're going to have art concerts and festivals in neighborhoods all over Detroit, not just downtown, not just in Hart Plaza. We created this day 18 years ago to showcase the people in the neighborhoods. We always hear the narrative about what's going on in the neighborhoods, and you show a lot of love. You know, we got the NFL draft, which was great. We got the Grand Prix, which is great. And the open to the train station, which is great. We've got the Rocket Mortgage Golf Classic, which these are all great things, largely for a lot of people who come from someplace else to Detroit and say great things. That's wonderful. We created Neighbors Day for the folks who live on Hogarth, on Linwood, on Dexter, on Grand River, all over Detroit. And what is so incredible, Alan, no other city in America does this. No other city in America has a day like Neighbors Day. We're going to have thousands of volunteers, neighbors all over Detroit, working with seniors, working with kids, doing great things. And it only happens in Detroit. It's truly an iconic day.
What kind of thing, when we talk about, let's talk about the things in the neighborhood to improve the neighborhood. What kind of things are people going to be doing?
Well, of course, you have beautification projects and cleanup projects. We're going to have more than 60 of those, but we're also going to have numerous health fairs. We're going to have back to school festivals and school supply giveaways. We're going to have people giving away food. We're going to have people just meeting their neighbors. And from this, a lot of people form block clubs and community associations. We're going to have many churches are involved in this. Block clubs are involved in this. Community associations are involved in this. So this is about people getting together and making a statement that we believe in our city, and we aren't just going to complain about what the politicians aren't doing. We're going to be actively engaged in ourselves. While we hold people responsible for electoral office, and that's what we should do, we got to understand that we're living in these neighborhoods. You know, the governor is not coming to our block every day. So we all have a responsibility to be engaged. And what's so great about Neighborhoods Day is that people in the city are engaged in doing this themselves because they love their city and they're willing to work to make it better.
Eric's got
let me speak to what Luther Keith was talking about. When I was president of the Detroit Alumni Chapter at Kappa Psi, we did 2 events. One at Burton International School, a beautification project, and then the following year, a cleanup project in Brush Park. But I'm also, as part of 100 Black Men, proud to say that over at People's Community Church right there on Woodward, West Side, East Side, depending on your perspective of West Side and East Side, we do the Man Up for men's health. We've been doing that for the last, I think, 7 to 8 years.
That's
so
back this year.
Back this year. Matter of fact, my organization, I'll be giving out free books for the kids. We know that education is a major problem, literacy is a major problem, and I'll be giving out free books as one of the vendors, as well as a member of 100 Black Men.
Awesome.
I want to pivot for a minute. You were here last year, Luther, talked about Arise Detroit. Welcome back. So happy. But you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about the entertainment. I want to talk about the blues, man. Are you going to perform this? Are you going to perform this weekend? Are you going to put it down this weekend?
I am not performing this weekend because there's only one of me, and I've got to go. All of this. Now, if you want to see me perform, go to my website, lutherkeithblues.com. It'll let you know where I'm playing at. But Neighbors Day is for the people. What happens on Neighbors Day, I literally get in my car and I drive all day long to all these events all over the city of Detroit. So I really don't have time to perform, but I'll be back at it. But we are going to have festivals and lots of musical performances all over the city. Go to our website, arisedetroit.org. Every event is posted on that website. Not only that, we have great volunteer opportunities where you can contact the people at all these neighborhood events and say, we want to volunteer with our youth group, with our people in our neighborhood, our block club, whoever, and you can actually sign up, call the contact person, get involved. So it's a way where you can actually be involved yourself on Neighborhoods Day.
So it's not too late to join in. And is there? I always think of neighborhoods. I know it's entertainment and festivals and health, but I also think of cleaning up, like debris.
A lot of that
will
be going on. Again, you can go to our website, arisedetroit.org, and it will tell you what kind of project it is. There's a cleanup day going on. Here is the person, John Smith. Call John Smith at this number. Tell him we want to come out and volunteer and help you clean up your neighborhood. It's just that easy to do. So we try to streamline it, make it very accessible to people. But the key thing is just to decide we want to do something. We don't want to sit on the sidelines. We want to get involved, and that's what's going to be happening all over the city on this Saturday, August the 3rd.
You do great work, Luther, and besides that, you're a very, very decent person. You were a great editor. I love working with you at the Detroit News. You were fun to work with.
And I want to thank Alan. I want to thank you for this and what you engaged in. We had some great times working together at the Detroit News, and
absolutely,
time has moved on. We both moved on, but I like to think both of us are doing our own thing, and so it's great to reconnect with you and your panelists this way. So thank you very much for giving me this forum.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Luther, and I guess we're gonna close it up here. Yeah. Vanessa, you wanna go around the horn, or what do we want to do?
We it's time for us to close up shop. We will be back on the air live this Saturday from 10 to 11 o'clock. Tell your friends, come down and join. I think we will be back at McShane's this Saturday from 10 to 11 on the corner of Michigan and Trumbull. YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitter, DetroitInBlackAndWhite.com. All of those mediums, we want you to like, subscribe, and share. We want you to come in and participate. And we thank those who are watching tonight and those that are participating in the conversation.
Absolutely. Okay. Anybody?
Before we leave, somebody said that basketball is their party, and I appreciate that because we need less hate, and we need to look at other things besides politics and not let it affect our life the way it's affecting some people's lives.
Absolutely.
And my final message is, to America, particularly Black America, we need to understand we're not a monolithic group. No one is hating on the vice president. She just may not be the choice for others. But to assume that all Black people have to support her is laughable to me. Do your research, do your homework. She may not be the one for you. It may be a third party. Some people may be voting for DJT. But at the end of the day, please understand we are not obligated to vote for someone just based on skin color.
I got a question for you, Eric. When you talk about voting third party, which I'm totally respectful of, but are you saying that the third party people like RFK or Cornel West are more qualified than Harris, or are you just saying this is a protest vote?
No, it's not a protest vote. I'm not into the two-party system. I think it's a flawed, broken system. It's a waste of time. People have to quit conforming to this fact that you have to vote for a D or an R based on them being on the ballot. I have had no problem voting third party since 2012 because I'm sick and tired of the Republicans and the Democrats. So it's not a matter of, people say, well, that person won't win. Well, I'm doing what more than 50% of the country don't do. I'm still voting.
Still voting, yeah.
I feel like it's more of a I mean, I don't feel, well, this is,
but you can't feel for me. It's a protest vote.
Alan. He's saying that
it's my choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's my choice, my vote, my right.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a simple question. I'm not attacking you here. I'm just trying to say, do you feel like RFK Jr., I don't know who your third party candidate is going to be, whether Jill Stein, RFK Jr., Cornel West, are they more qualified than Kamala Harris? That's all I'm asking you. I'm not asking you about the two-party system. I get what you're saying.
But being qualified is subjective because at the end of the day, 4 years ago, people did not find her to be qualified. That's why she dropped out of the race prior to the first primary. And she has not done anything, in my opinion, since that time because there was no campaign, there was no primary. So she was anointed. We talked about an anointing earlier with regard to Slotkin. She was anointed, and I'm not for the anointing process.
Well, who can you tell our audience maybe who is a better third-party candidate than Kamala Harris?
I would just tell people to do their research, and they have to decide for themselves who they feel is a better qualified candidate. And that's with any election. You do your research.
And on that note, I agree with Eric. Do your due diligence. I am Vanessa Moss. There is a movement. A movement. It's not a candidacy. It's a movement to have Vanessa Moss on the bench at 36th District Court. If you want to join the movement, please do so. Vanessa Moss for 36thdistrictcourt.com. And we will see you on Saturday.